welcome to McPhabbs. Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Nev. Welcome to the stage, Nev.
Alright, so yeah, that's the show started. Right. Okay, so what am I doing? Right. So yeah, so that's it begun. I'm not gonna. Thank you for coming. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that thing, you know, where the comedian explains the meaning of the title. You know, you see that in every single comedy show. You know. The show's called Zonk. You're intelligent people, you figure out what the fucking show's about. It's a good name though, isn't it? Because I could literally fall asleep at any time. Fuck, I've just explained the title. I'm just so tired. Okay, we'll do some of that audience shit, right? Give it a cheer if you've got kids!
Hey!
Thanks, Mum. Give us a cheer if you don't have kids! Yay! Oh, listen to how much sleep you have. Oh, you know, you all sound so very happy, but only a couple of us in the room have backup kidneys. So I'm sorry, I'm tired. If I'm honest, I don't know how I'm going to entertain you tonight. I've been away from stand-up for a while. With the kid, I've not been attending stand-up nights, you know, so much. So I'm a bit frightened. I don't know if I remember how to entertain adults. If some Edinburgh Fringe reviews are to be believed. I mean, I'll try my best. I mean, we'll go for. I mean, in all honesty, I'm not interested in making you laugh. Okay, I've got a 7-month-old in the house. He laughs now, and that's where I get my gratification. Now I don't need you anymore. Because when an infant laughs, it's a beautiful noise. It's a beautiful noise. You know, it's beautiful. I mean, how can you people compete? Well, let's see who can give me a beautiful laugh. Sir, can you give me your most beautiful laugh, please? I appreciate the effort, but you don't have children yourself, no. See, you don't know that. You don't know that love. Yeah, you don't know. All of this laughter before you have children, it's like fake laughter. You know, it's just like, oh, I'm just laughing to get through the days, and then you have a child, and you go, oh, I'm laughing because I can't die yet. That's. And why do people get into stand-up comedy? How do people get into stand-up comedy? I'll let you in on a little trade secret. People get into stand-up comedy in the slightest off chance that it'll lead to sex. And what does sex lead to? Spoilers, it's children. Who knew? Who knew? So in many ways I've spawned my own career downfall. It's... Oh, I love him though, he's great, he's great. And to be honest, I'll tell you what being a parent is like. Being a parent, it's the sudden realisation that you're not the most important person in the room, which doesn't bode well in the world of stand-up. Okay, there's this false perception about stand-up comedy from the audience. The audience believe that the comedians there for your gratification. When in reality, and all the comedians in the room will know this is true, the audience is there for his gratification. And it is a his. It's always a his. I mean, I get my laughs at home now, so that's sort of why I don't do stand-up, you know. I mean, you seem like a nice audience, you seem like a nice group of people, but you should know your place in the queue. It's behind, isn't it? It's behind. I've got one Guinness on that side, and so on that side. Back in 2016, around about the end of 2016, I was worried that I was running out of material, and then at that point my partner said she was pregnant. So I was like, yes, that's a fringe hour wrote itself just then. And the child had the audacity to be born in August. So that's me, fuck now, son. Thank you. And I do genuinely mean thank you. I now get the full fringe experience, vomiting, crying all night, shit and blood, in the comfort of my own home. So thank you, son. I've not remembered the show. I could try. I've not done this in a while. Okay. I could try to entertain you people like I entertain a 7-month-old. We could attempt that. So let's have a look into the audience. Now, who has the most infantile appearance? Let's have a look. Picked on you already. I'm sort of limited to the front row because I don't know you. Too obvious. I'll go for yourself. Now, I'm only because of your youthful expression. You look like you've not, become me yet. So I'll try to entertain you like I entertain a 7-month-old. Okay, we'll see. It succeeded, okay. That's easy, that's fucking shit. I'm a real, I've always loved stand-up comedy. I was a real comedy nerd. And when I was a little boy, me and my brother, who's also obsessed with comedy, we discovered that our comedy, if you strip away all of the artifice, you can boil our humours down to 2 simple things. My brother's type of humour, what really gets him, if you strip everything else away, is unexpected movement. If you strip everything away, the type of humour that I like is disproportionate sound. What's that all about? So, we've got some fans in. Give us a cheer if you like disproportionate sound. Shoot a cheer. Give us a cheer if you are a fan of unexpected movement. Hey, now, I don't mean to brag, but it turns out my 7-month-old likes both. And that really, as a parent, fills you with joy, because your ultimate dream for your children is that they grow up to be a better person than you. That's really what. And the thing about children is that it does change your life's ambitions. Previously my life's ambition was the total overthrow and destruction of the Western capitalist system. These days, I just want more sleep. it's difficult to tear down the fabric of society when you need nappies at 3 a.m. Have you ever heard of Asda 24? It is mankind's greatest achievement. It's moon landing, another thing. Asda is so. It's good, man. It's good. I mean, I'm a total betrayal of what I'm used to. And I don't sleep much. When I do sleep, all my dreams are about people breaking into my house. So, my life's ambitions these days, A, get more sleep, and B, buy a gun. And would I even use that gun to shoot a fascist? No. I would use that gun so that nobody takes my Henry Hoover. Because I love Henry Hoover. The kid loves Henry Hoover. Henry Hoover puts the kid to sleep. I love Henry Hoover. I need Henry Hoover. And Henry Hoover fucking knows this. Every time I look at his smug cunt face, he seems to be mocking my parenting. If I ever do buy a gun, I'm going to turn it on him after I've shot myself. Take that fucker out like Sir Henry Gunray in Malaysia 1951. Fans of Sir Henry Gunray? Basically, he was a guy. I don't really know who he is either, right? But there's not a lot of assassinations by bullet of people called Henry. Henry IV of France, he was stabbed to death. You wouldn't stab a Henry Hoover. That's ridiculous. You'd shoot a Henry Hoover. You wouldn't. I mean, sometimes I look at Henry Hoover. You would that would be too much. I wish there was more assassinations of people called Henry by bullet. You know, like Henry Kennedy, Henry Gandhi, or Henry, Princess of Wales. Some of you out there going, Princess of Wales wasn't shot. Well, you've not looked into it deeply. Not like me. Now there's a little insight into comedy. We all know the reason that bit's there. It's because when I was writing it at 1 a.m, I came upon the phrase Henry, Princess of Wales, and I needed to find a way to put it into the show. So it's there for my gratification. That's why we're all here. I mean, it is you try your best to overthrow capitalism and go out. But, you know, it's difficult with children. You know, I try my best. I get my beret on and my 5 for Vendetta mask. I'm about to go out and destroy capitalism, and then the babysitter cult falls through, doesn't it? Parents in the room know what I'm talking about. You know, it's difficult. I mean, I don't know if you've ever tried to throw a Molotov cocktail whilst holding an infant. It's very. Oh, it's like. Okay. Oh. Fascists! Oh, drop my baby. Right. Milky? Should we get some milky? Oh shit, I've thrown the wrong ball. Like that's some fucking mustard shit. Unexpected movement, I'm the fucking king, yeah, oh god. I mean, I wish I could go out and destroy capitalism. you know, because I feel bad, especially for the kids that have made my 5 for Vendetta mask. You know, it's Time Warner product, you know, I feel I'm letting those kids in the third world down if I don't go out and destroy capitalism. Kids in the third world. It's like, you know, making the 5 for Vendetta masks, like... Oh, I do hope those internet people destroy capitalism so I don't need to make the masks anymore. Serious point of the show, it's okay. I'll tell you why none of you went with that. Because you don't have children. You don't understand the suffering. You don't understand the suffering of third world children. I mean, before I had kids, I was like you, uncaring. I see the adverts, I go, well, what are they doing for me? Fuck them. But now that I've got kids, I sympathise with them. It's funny how you change when you care. When I don't dream about people breaking into my house, I spend my time worrying about my wheelie bins getting blown away. It's the two main worries of the suburban dad. It's people breaking into my house, my wheelie bins blown away. And you know, I don't get out, I don't do stand-up that much these days. I look out at those wheelie bins desperate for inspiration, and they do nothing. Wheelie bins just sit there, nothing, no inspiration for any kind, nothing. I look out at those wheelie bins, green, blue, purple, brown. And what am I looking at? A colour scheme for decaying flesh. It just reminds me of, I look out, I'm desperate for those wheelie bins to give me something to fucking do. You know, like purple wheelie bin. You know, I look out, sometimes it looks like the lids are just flapping in the breeze. And it's like they're talking to me. Purple wheelie bin, he goes, "You should start drinking again." I started drinking in order to meet women, and I continue to drink because I know I'll die alone. That's an old joke. That's one of the first jokes I ever wrote. Okay. As you know, I have a child, I have a partner, so the joke should go. I started drinking in order to meet women, and I continue to drink because I want to die first. That's not true. I love my life. It's really good. I'm the happiest I've ever been with my partner and with my child. I drink because I attempt to do stand-up comedy. So the joke should go. I started drinking in order to meet women, and I continue to drink because I seek the approval of fucking people I'll never see again. Now, the reason that didn't work was because everybody knows me in the room. Blue bin, blue bin. Blue bin says, "You should just recycle some material." Green bin, you belong in here. You're crap. Brown bin, what does it matter anyway when we're all the worm food? But we shouldn't be angry at the wheelie bins for their backwards opinions and all. we shouldn't be angry at the wheelie bins for these horrendous opinions of theirs, because as we know, wheelie bins lead a very sheltered life. That was an actual joke. Dad joke, admitted. That's what I'm dealing with these days. Bin shelters. It didn't used to be like this. It didn't used to be like this. I used to watch the news in order to get angry. Good fuel for comedy. I'd sit there watching the fucking news, and I'd go, "Oh, somebody better take these capitalists down a peg. Hold on to your socks, dram. I've got a joke coming." That'll teach him. But now I look at the news, and it just upsets me. I'm too emotional since I've had children. I look at the news, and I'm fearful, that I've brought this little person into this world, because his generation is going to be the first ones that are going to have to eat their parents. And that does sound like a good segue into a going to the gym material bit. I'm not going to give you that. You've seen those going to the gym material bits. You saw it every fucking weekend of your life if you ever went to stand-up nights. You would go to jonglers, you'd have 7 white men on, all talking about going to the gym and how that makes them a sensitive person. I'm glad Jonglers is dead. Glad Jonglers is dead. Jonglers, if you don't know, was a room where obese white men would look at slightly less obese white men and reminisce about being a fucking cunt in the gym. And then racism. That's all the Jonglers had 7 times a night, every day of the week, for the last 50 years. Every night. Go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. Multiculturalism is destroying this country. Go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. That was Jonglers, and that's why it's died. Because as we know, the right are not in resurgence. So, oh, fucking hell. So, people say you're very brave to do stand-up. That's what they say when you start with stand-up. They say, very brave to do stand-up. You are brave to do stand-up, but not in the way you people think. You're brave doing stand-up in the same way that it's brave to get rid of toxic waste. That's the same braveness. What colour bin would that go in? Yellow? Maybe. Purple, green, blue, brown. That's what I look out at every day. If that was a multi-pack of crisps, you would throw 2 flavours away. I'm just going to do like all parents do. I'm going to vicariously live out my dreams through my child. So my child is going to be a painter, a novelist, a dancer, a rapper, and a good comedian. And I'm going to force him into it as well. I'm going to force him into that. There's a lot of aggression tonight. I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping, I'm sorry. I'm not sleeping. And this is it's reflected in the work, it's a great many ideas have come from dreams. Descartes' scientific method apparently dreamt that up one night. Einstein's theory of relativity dreamt that up. James Cameron's Terminator 1. Great ideas, great art can come from dreams. love Terminator 1. It's so good. It's so good. And what's good about it now that I'm a parent is that you watch Terminator 1 and you suddenly realise why it's so powerful. It's about somebody just, there's the future. That's it. And that, it reminded me of parenthood, you know. I'm a 1980s waitress. I am the future. It's that's really, you know Terminator? You know Terminator? Do you remember Terminator? There was a bin driver, he's collecting bins, and then there's sort of this ball of lightning guy looks like, what the hell? And then there's like a naked, big guy there, the Terminator. And then this big guy, he like walks up to these three punks, so one of them played by Bill Paxton, RIP. Remember, he walks up to the punks. Remember, he walks up to his three punks, doesn't he? Like punches. He says, "Give me your clothes," and they go, "Fuck you, asshole," and he like punches him and rips his heart out, and then that's the Terminator 1. And then in an alleyway there's another ball, then a little sort of scrawny skinny guy, he comes out, he runs into like a department store, like police sees him, like, what the, he's going after he steals like some joggies out of the clothing rack and like a big overcoat. Do you remember the theme tune to and then he goes to the guy, the police, he goes, what year is it? What you talking about? Do you remember Terminator 1? This is I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing the plot of Terminator 1, but I'm doing the theme tune from RoboCop. What I'm waiting on is one of you to correct me. Because I don't imagine doing this and stand-up nights. It'd be great, wouldn't it? Because I don't go out, I just have to manufacture my own conflicts in the show. That's what I'm doing, so yeah, right, so. And then, 1980s, sun in the hair, golden hair, Linda Hamilton there. And she's on there like it's not like a motorcycle, it's like a moped or something, I think. And she's like, da, da, da. And then she's like, I'm a 1980s waitress, and she's in like a sort of greasy spoon cafeteria, and this like little kid gets like a scoop of ice cream, doesn't he? And he like puts it in her apron. And then, right, then 1980s waitress. I mean, imagine doing this in a real comedy club. I could probably get all the way to there's a storm coming and nobody would correct me. Imagine that. But one of you is going to. One of you will have to. So anyway, 1980s waitress, right? Oh, our pal, bit slaggy, but she's on. She sort of goes. Alright, it's just white male. It's the 80s, a different time. So she goes, say, honey, come. Oh no, wait. So, right, ice cream into the thing, okay? And then, big guy, do. No, fuck, I've done the wrong future. So, big guy,
That's a Robocop theme tune.
That's down in the leaves.
See, it just seems forced now that I've had to do it. I mean, we could just sit here reminiscing about Terminator 1 if basically the point of that. Okay, we'll get. Gun shop. You can't do that. Wrong. Okay. No, you can't do that. Wrong. There you go. Right. The point of that routine is that's what parenthood is like. Okay, so. Oh, man. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I wish I had insomnia. I used to have insomnia when I was younger. And now I don't. I'm just fucking awake. That's what my life is now. I'm not sleepy, I'm just fucking awake. And I just feel like I could collapse at any point, really. I miss insomnia. I miss it because when you're a young man and you have insomnia, you have the luxury of worrying about the world outside of yourself. You know, when I was young, I used to lie there awake at night, you know, fretting about other people's wheelie bins and other people's fucking stand-up careers. And you know, I used to worry about all of that. Now I miss that, young man. I miss that. Young man. These days, I sleep about 5 hours a night. These days, okay. And with the other 19 hours, I spend that time thinking about sleep. Okay. Do you know Joseph Stalin apparently used to get by on 4 hours a night? And look how much he got done. And me, I can't compete with that. I'm not endorsing Stalin, okay? I'm not doing that. I've done a joke about Stalin, but I'm not endorsing Stalin. You know, I don't really have time for Stalin these days. You know, when I was younger, I sort of like, you know, Stalin was alright, you know. These days, you know, I'm a bit iffy about it. I don't really. It's funny how things change as you have children, you know, because I'll tell you, before the baby was here, we were thinking of decorating the kids' room, and I had an idea. I was like, oh, you know what? We should decorate it with Stalin. I mean, I love Stalin. Just look at, just imagine the kid looking up at this mural of Stalin on the wall. And not like old fat Stalin, like young, sexy Stalin. Look at, and you could look at young, sexy Stalin and you could think about how much the man got done. Look at him there. Look at how fucking gorgeous he is. It's like I'm dreaming about it. And I do dream about young Stalin. I wish I looked like young Stalin. Sort of. Looks like a sort of model, doesn't he? Young Stalin. I'm wailing. Young Stalin. I'm wailing. I love everybody except nobody. It's funny that's the most effort I've put into the show. Oh fucking hell. So we did against my better judgment, we didn't go with young sexy Stalin, we went with baby animals, because that's, you know, fucking, that's hacking it. Baby animals, man. And I feel I can't as a parent. I mean, have young sexy Stalin on my kid's wall, I've just become one of those sheep I should be counting. I'll tell you something. I can guarantee you all of Stalin's wheelie bins were red. Oh. No, it's not cool, guys. It's not cool. Stalin's not cool. Stalin's not cool. Okay. If I have to spell it out for you, Stalin's not cool. Okay, Stalin's not cool. But there's this myth that we have in this society that the Americans won the Second World War. Okay, the Americans, they destroyed the Nazis, didn't they? And then they destroyed the Japanese. They dropped 2 bombs of democracy on the Japanese. That's how the Second World War ended. But that's not true, is it? Because the real history of the Second World War is that Stalin's troops go into Berlin. Because what would a Nazi be more frightened of? US democracy or fucking Stalin? Obviously Stalin. And then what happened with the Japanese? After these bombs were dropped, the Americans said, well, that's how it's done. The Japanese kept fighting for another 2 weeks. It was only when Stalin's troops entered Manchuria did the war actually end. Okay? So, what I'm saying is that the Americans taking credit for World War II is like them walking off the scene after Arnie's been set on fire. But it's Stalin that puts him in the fucking crusher, okay? That's what I'm saying. Now, we can have a debate all you want about the rightness of historical jokes, especially in this climate, but we are only having a discussion about freedom of expression because Stalin won the fucking war for us. Okay? So there you go! My emotions are a little insane at the moment. I'm not sleeping much. If this show has a message, what I'm saying is perhaps we should all have more sleep and then have time to work on ideas. Both me, Stalin, or anybody. My emotions are insane. I'll tell you how I knew my emotions were going insane. Before the kid was born, I went to a bookshop, and me and my partner, we decided to buy some books for my child. Okay, and they're like the classic children's books, stuff that I read when I was a child. Stuff like Very Hungry Caterpillar, Dear Zoo, Das Kapital pop-up versions. And as I held these books in my hand, I suddenly realised that I would be partially responsible for nurturing this person's imagination. And that got me. And I burst into tears in this bookshop. And I don't know if you've ever tried to buy children's books in a children's bookshop whilst crying uncontrollably. It makes the transaction exceptionally awkward. It's good though. It's good. The emotions just hit me like a truck, but in a nice way. Like a truck full of butterflies. That's what it's not so nice, is it? Where are these trucks going with these butterflies? Why are the butterflies being trafficked? Okay. It hit me like a truck full of cupcakes. That's nice. We all like cupcakes. And it's weird because I'm more emotional than I've ever been. And I'll tell you, when the day of his birth came, I was there, and as soon as it came out, I burst into tears, and it was uncontrollable, but it was like the greatest thing. It's difficult to do material about childbirth because there is nothing in the oeuvre of James Cameron that prepared me for that moment. I would highly recommend childbirth. For all the men in the room, if you ever become fathers, I would highly recommend childbirth. Go to the birth of your children and make sure you stand at the business end. Okay, and watch this. It is beautiful but brutal at the same time. It's beyond words almost. It's what you're looking at. You know, this little red face, like a screaming Henry Hoover, coming out of this divine wheelie bin. That's as naked as the T800. but that comparison is just glib. It doesn't really do it any justice. There is nothing in my alternative comedy rulebook that will prepare you for it. You can. Literally what you're watching is something you've made come out of someone you love. And there's nothing I can say that is fucking stranger than that. It's the most fucking... If I had to... It's beyond words, isn't it, childbirth? It's beautiful but brutal. If I had to... It's beyond words if I had to. Beautiful yet brutal. It combines both unexpected movement and sound. Highly recommended. 5 stars, says Chorty. It's well worth. I guarantee it is the best thing you'll ever do. It is so good. I mean, what else is there left to say in this show? What else is there left to say? I'm going to have to settle you all now because it's bedtime. No, it's not playtime. It's not. Oh, I'm so tired. And that's sort of how the show ends. How long have I got until I wake up here? Another 20 minutes. I mean, we could wait. Who wants to wait to see me wake up? So our pal, she comes through and she goes, right, so there's, Sarah honey, you gotta come see this. And Sarah comes through and she looks on the news report, and the news report says, Sarah Connor, gunned down today. No. Oh. No, you haven't. I mean, we know how long left it is. So, you know, and then our pal, you know, a bit rough around the edges, but nice lass. She goes, you're dead, honey. And then another scene happens. And then Sarah, she's like, you're in a restaurant. Oh no, so Sarah's going to go out with this guy, and our pal has an iguana for no reason. And then I'm going to go out with this guy, and he doesn't go out with her. And then, you know what? We all know the Terminator. Let's just see what happens with me. Oh look! Oh look! Oh look! Oh look! Oh look! He's getting up! Oh. Is that? Is he? Is he getting up? Yes, he's awake! He's awake, look! He's awake! Oh. He's awake. Napalm Death t-shirt. He's awake. This show's been like the opposite of Napalm Death gig. Since went on way too long. We'll cut that out of the edit. So we go, look, I get it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.